Today I want to talk about forgotten images. What do I mean by that? This week I've been going through some of my old Lightroom catalogues, mainly because I want to free up some disk space. While I've been doing this, I've come across a few of my older images, either that I've discarded or forgotten about. The experience this week going through all these old pictures has really emphasised to me how important it is to stockpile your work, put it away and let it just kind of simmer. I really have had a great deal of pleasure from actually going back and revisiting some of these pictures. So today what I'd like to do is pull up a couple of these pictures, have a quick look at them, give you my thoughts, explain the process that I went through, maybe why I discarded them in the first place, and I guess just share that whole experience that I've had this week. This week I also came across a New Zealand-based photographer by the name of Patino. He's a professional landscape photographer based in the South Island. I've been watching quite a bit of his content on YouTube and almost binging on it really, and I must say that his approach, his work has been a real inspiration to me this week, and it's helped me get really excited about my local landscapes and how I approach them with a fresh set of eyes. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at those pictures. But before I do, I just need you to do me a little favour. If you could please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I'd really appreciate that. So like the video and subscribe. And when you subscribe, just hit that notification bell, which will mean that you'll get notifications when I put up new content. I'd really appreciate that. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at these pictures and I'll discuss my week with you, I guess. First image I want to share is a picture that was taken probably 5 or 6 years ago. I was filming a vlog up at Hamilton's Gap one day, and I ended up not going ahead with the vlog because it was a really negative experience for me that day. It was extremely windy. I just bought a brand new set of filters for my camera, and I hate using filters at the best of times, but this particular day with a new setup, it was even more tedious, and it just kind of threw a bad vibe on the day. Anyway, after several failed attempts at other pictures, I decided to finally set up for a long exposure on this scene here, which was like a rocky outcrop that was leading out to the sea, which I thought would make for a good picture. Took several images and actually thought that I got a fairly good picture on the day, and I was quite pleased that I at least might have got something from the visit. Anyway, I got back home, got the images opened up in Lightroom. As I'd originally thought at the beach, most of the images I got that day were pretty average. I then came across the long exposure images, and actually, you know, out of all the images I took, they were okay. For some reason, and I don't know if it's because of the whole mood of the day was pretty negative overall, I was never really happy with this picture. There was a couple of things that bugged me with the composition. I've also revisited this image, you know, several times over the years, and I've just always had the same outcome when I've gone to revisit it and maybe re-edit it. It just didn't quite click for me, and I'm not too sure what that is, whether it's the hangover from the actual day itself and the memory of that, or just the fact that there's just stuff in this picture that bugged me. I think, again, looking at somebody else's work, how they manage their workflow, the type of editing techniques that they used. When I went back and looked at this picture this week, it kind of gave me a fresh perspective on it. What I did is I completely stripped it back to the raw file and then did a complete re-edit on it. And have to say that finally I'm happy with this picture. So, you know, going back, revisiting it, you know, 5 or 6 years down the track has really been beneficial in the sense that I've actually finally come to terms with the fact that I'm okay with the image now, and it's something I'm reasonably proud of. The next image was kind of totally different because the experience of the day was the complete opposite of the experience I had at Hamilton's Gap and the first image. I had just a sublime morning. I woke up one morning, went down to the m.zuiko forest right on dawn, and as the sun was coming up, and the conditions were just sublime. You know, just absolutely perfect. Beautiful sunrise. The colours were incredible. The scene that I had chosen was just perfect. It was just a beautiful, still morning. There was fog. The first scene that I photographed was just amazing, just incredible. So I spent probably the best part of 45 minutes just taking pictures of this original scene, and was just so engrossed with that scene and the excitement of the potential images that I managed to get from that. I then carried on further into the forest. Again, light was still beautiful. There was a beautiful golden light that was reflecting all over the trees and the bark of the trees, and it just was quite sensational. Another factor that I think maybe has made me overlook this picture is because I've never really been able to connect with woodland type photography. It's just something I've never been good at. For some reason, I just can't get it right. So when I came across this image in Lightroom, it was a really good subject matter to try some of the new techniques that I'd learned from William. I'd totally forgotten about this picture, and rediscovering it, applying the new techniques that I'd learned, have really brought it back to life, and I'm really pleased with the results of this image. And it's given me a fresh hope going forward, and a fresh subject matter to go and explore now. So in conclusion, a couple of things I've learnt this week. Firstly, don't throw away all your old images. Hang on to them. Let them stew in the catalogues. Let them marinate, if you like. Take the time to go back and revisit them, re-edit them, try and see them with a fresh set of eyes. Secondly, and I think as importantly, keep on learning. Don't think that because you're at a certain level of your photography that automatically means that you know everything. One of the big things I take out from this week is that I've spent the time to go and have a look at another photographer's work, have a look at their workflow, learn something from them, and apply what I've learned to what I do. It's also made me appreciate my backlog of work that I've got sitting around. Too often we go out, take loads of pictures, select a few from the pile and stick with those few and then forget about the rest. It's given me a greater appreciation of the work that sits a bit deeper in my catalogue. I think that's a wrap. I think that's all for this episode. Again, I've had a really good week this week, been enjoyable going back through all that old stuff, and hope you've enjoyed me sharing that experience with you. Before I go, if you'd like to support the channel, if you've enjoyed the episode today, you want to support the channel, you can go and buy my book, Incidents of Isolation. That's available from my website. I'll put a link below for that. There's also a link at the end of this video. It's a collection of my film and digital photography. Also, if you want to buy one of the pictures as a print from this episode, those are also available on my website. Link below for those also, available in 2 sizes of each image, an A4 size and an A3 plus, available from the website. Please note that all prices on my website include free shipping. That's on the prints and the books. Don't forget, please, to like this video, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's it for this episode. I have to go. I'll see you again soon. Haere rā from New Zealand. Goodbye.